Hello! Today we're going to be making some traditional Polish tomato soup. It is called Zupa Pomidorowa, and it is a staple in every Polish household. I actually grew up eating this all the time. And traditionally, the families would make rosa, which is traditional Polish chicken noodle soup, and they would save the broth to make this soup the next day. So yeah, the ingredients that we'll be needing are noodles, egg noodles for protein, parsley and baby dill for garnish, carrots and onion for simmering the broth, obviously the broth which has already been simmered in many vegetables, tomato paste, canned tomatoes, sugar to balance acidity, and sour cream to dollop on top, of course. And of course we're going to be seasoning with pepper and salt, but the Polish food guide actually recommends that children have no salt, so we're not going to be adding salt into this one today, which is completely okay. But yeah, so let's get started. Alright, we're going to start by peeling our carrots. So how I like to do this is I just grab a peeler and I just try to do thin little pieces, and then if I need to cut it up a little bit more once I'm done to make them smaller, I will do so. And then I just like to chop it up a little bit just to make it a little smaller, just like so. Alright, now we're going to just quickly dice the onion. Then we're just going to blob a little butter into our pan so then we can simmer our vegetables. Thank you. Alright, now we're going to add in our carrots. And we're going to add in our onions. Now we're just going to let that brown up a little bit until we see fit. You want to make sure to bring all of it down so that it all simmers on the bottom throughout this process. Now that's all browned up, so we're going to add our broth. And then you're just going to want to simmer that for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so now we got our water boiling when that's simmering, and then once that starts boiling, just add in as many noodles as you like. It's completely up to your preference, whether you like it more noodly, less noodly, up to you. Now that that's done simmering, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And we're also going to be adding the 398 milliliters of tomatoes. And don't worry that it's all chunky, we're going to be pureeing that up pretty soon here. Now we will add the noodles. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar to this so that it balances out the acidityness. Now stir and let that simmer for another 20 to 30 minutes. Now we add a pinch of pepper. Okay, now the noodles are done, so we're just going to go over here to the sink and strain them. And then just set those aside until your soup is done. Alright, now we have our dill. We're going to slice that up to be ready for us. I like to keep the stem on there. A lot of people like to take it off. Really just up to you and your preferences. Okay, now we're going to cut up some parsley to add to that dill. So we're just going to bring it down and then take the leaves off the stem. Now this, what you see on top right here, is exactly what you want to be seeing while it's simmering. Perfect, there we are. Alright, now that that's been simmering for about 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to get that pureed. Can you plug that in, cameraman? Alright, now get it all pureed. Now we're going to get a bowl and add a little bit of our soup to it, and then we're going to add a little bit of sour cream in there, mix it up, and add that to the soup so that it doesn't curdle. Alright, and now that that's mixed to your liking, we're going to add that in. Now we add in our noodles, as well as our parsley and dill. And the last step is to try it and season it how you like. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And here's my meal.